Alright, so we're going to rank every single Hearthstone expansion. Let's start with the good ones. Good. Love that expansion. Rise of Shadows, I'm going to put here. I don't think it was quite up here, but I really like Dollar on Heist, so it definitely deserves to be up there. Doomsday Project here. Here. I'll put it there. Gadgeting was pretty good. Um, I really like Descent of Dragons. I'm not sure if it should be up here. I like League of Explorers. Sabers of Doom will go here. Couple of Catacombs up here. I'm not sure what Knights of the Frozen Throne. See, I really like Knights of the Frozen Throne. It definitely deserves one of these two spots. Which would... Where's it going? Rumble. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Roscoe's Rumble, I just didn't enjoy. I felt like... Okay, so what happened was we had Witchwood, which was strong because of odd and even decks, but then they took those out, so that didn't matter. And then we had, what was it? Boomsday. Alright, so Boomsday was okay. So then we are expecting from Roscoe's Rumble, it's a, it's the last expansion in this year. So we're expecting a huge, like, power level. Because, if you don't have you got the last expansion usually is like whoa crazy power level, and that's why it's at the end because it will be in the standard set for the least amount of time. Rastakhan Rumble was supposed to be this really powerful expansion, and it was not that. It was way too weak. So Year of the Raven became this really weak year. Now I will admit though, these two expansions did a very good job in the next year with these. Year the Dragon has done a really good job, and these cards have benefit from that. But besides that, it was a really disappointing. Ungoro goes up here for me. I really liked Ungoro. It was one of the first real expansions I really got into. I didn't start with Goblins and Gnomes, so I really can't judge this too much. I've heard it was pretty good, but it was kind of weak at the time, so we'll give it a B. One Night Karazhan, I'll give it a B. I liked One Night. So Grand Tournament, we'll go here. I didn't like Grand Tournament. I like the Inspired mechanic. I thought it was cool, but it just wasn't for me. I thought it was too weak. Blackrock Mountain. Let's put it up here. Crimson Next Ram is up here. I'll put this up here. I'm happy with that. Now this should go here. Okay. Okay. That looks pretty. That looks pretty reasonable. Can we like look at it in? No, wrong button. Yeah. Is there a way we can like zoom in on this? Presentation mode here. Yeah, these go up here. Now. God dang it. Okay. So anyway, yes. So we have Old Gods, which was a really good expansion. I really enjoyed Old Gods. League of Explorers was my favorite adventure by far. Then we had Kobolds and Catacombs, which introduced the dungeon run, which was really, really good. I really enjoyed the dungeon run. The dungeon run was something that I really liked, but like it was a great way to introduce new people into Hearthstone, and that's what's great about it. Knights of the Frozen Throne, I just really. It first introduced hero cards, which have become a big thing. They're very common now, especially with the Descent of Dragons. But at the time, that was the first time that had ever happened. It was a really big deal. Really enjoyed that expansion. Rise of Shadows, I love the Dollar Run heist, and I love the bringing back a little bit of every expansion into it. So Rise of Shadows brought in old god mechanics with Priest, Kobolds and Catacomb things with Rogue, just different things like that, and I really enjoyed that. Uh, Descent of Dragons did a great job in showing and just it's been a lot of fun and power level with the invoke. And something the Year of Dragon does very well is the lackey mechanic, which I think is a great system. And so yeah, I just really enjoyed the Year of the Dragon. It's been a lot of fun. Journey to Ungoro. I really like Journey to Ungoro. It was my first like expansion. I was like full on playing and everything like that, and I really really liked that one. I like Adapt was cool, but I was a big fan. That was the era where discard lock. That was the era of discard lock, and that's one of my favorite decks to play. Was discard lock. It was my first warlock deck, and so Journey to Ungoro really pushed for that. You got a lot of cards that helped that from not just the quest. The quest was okay, but you got cards when it was still in that year with Karazhan. So you had the imp that helped you draw cards, and you also had another card in there. I forget which one it was in. It was in one of the adventures. I think it was Naxxramas. Anyway, it was a card that if you discard it, it dealt 4 damage to a random enemy. So that was really good in there too. So I missed the discard lock, and I tried to bring it back with Rastakhan, but it didn't work out that well. Mean Streets of Gadgetzan. Now the reason why I didn't put that in A is a personal reason. I really just hated Jade Druid so much with a burning passion. But Mean Street of Gadgetzan was a really cool expansion. So I guess I'll put it up in A for. Okay, it probably deserves that. So it was a fun expansion. It had a lot of interesting things. It introduced us to class kind of thing where the no duplicates kind of system. I mean, League of Explorers was the first, I believe, to explore on that, but get it pun there. But Mean Streets of Gadgetzan took that and changed the power level. I feel like with that. So Witchwood was a good expansion. I respect it the most out of all the year of the Raven for two reasons. One, it was the best. Second, this is the last one that we know of that Ben Brode worked on, which I respect that guy, and I wish he was still on the Hearthstone team. So it also introduced the odd and even mechanic, which is a good idea in system, but it became a little overpowered for like two classes, and by two I mean odd paladin and even paladin were like the most played decks of all time. So I think what they should have done is maybe instead of just removing them, is they maybe just find a way to balance them out. But what they did was fine. I was happy with it. Um, so yeah, it was a good expansion. Besides odd paladin and even paladin, goblins versus gnomes, I never really got to play too much of, but I heard it was a decent first expansion. The problem with Goblins with Gnomes is it was the first, so you can't really judge it that well because it didn't have a lot to go up against. I really like Black Rock Mountain cards. I think they were really fun and just playing the adventure. Same with Naxxramas. I consider these two complete equals. Black Rock Mountain and Naxxramas to me are kind of just like they're fun, but they're not anything really special. So anything from being above, I had fun with or loved, stuff like that. See below is what I was a little disappointed with. So, Savers of Uldum disappointed me because I just felt like it got dry real quick. I feel like usually you can get a month, probably in a month and a half of standard. I got tired of Savers of Uldum in 2 weeks because it became very clear what was the decks. You had Quest Druid, and you had some other decks in there. You had a Quest Shaman, and maybe two other decks that were fun in the expansion, but then that was it. The rest kind of stuck between all together with that, and like you could play them, but if you ever came up against a Druid or a Shaman, you were dead basically. So it just left me disappointed. The things with Descent of Dragons did is Descent of Dragons really showed us, it just gave us a lot of like we've had a lot of decks change. They gave us nerfs real quick for Battlecry Shaman, so now Battlecry Shaman isn't nearly as strong as it used to be. So the whole meta was still changing until fairly recently. So that's what I really enjoyed with Descent of Dragons. Boomsday Project I liked. I just think it's a better adaptive expansion. So it's like the cards are really good in other expansions. But when the expansion came out, it was not that fun. Same with Karazhan. When it came out, it was meh. But like as it progressed, it was a lot of fun in it with other decks like Discard Lock. And now we're into two. I just didn't like the Grand Tournament. honest, and I've already explained why I don't like Rastakhan's Rumble. It was too weak. And Grand Tournament had some cool things, but it was just not as good in comparison. So yeah, that's what I think. I think that I think this is a fair system actually. Uh, I wouldn't mind putting Karazhan here. I enjoyed Karazhan personally, but I know its flaws and stuff like that. I do respect Karazhan because it was the first to give us the start of game mechanic. I mean, which was the first to actually make it a mechanic, but Prince Malkazar was the first to actually really embody that from what I know of. So, yeah, that's what I think about that. So, this is my tier listing, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye!